Very much. Good fodder for my next guest, Bruce Klingner, former CIA Deputy Division Chief for Korea under the George H.W. Bush administration and Senior Research Fellow for Northeast Asia at the Heritage Foundation. Good to see you today. Thank you for being with me. Let's start with the news that Greg just broke, and that's this letter that the president had and held up at the now still ongoing cabinet meeting that we're waiting to be able to show the public that video from live from the White House. He holds up a letter from Kim Jong-un. What do you make of it?
Well, we don't know the contents, obviously, but we hope it's more forthcoming in showing North Korean willingness to comply with 11 UN resolutions that it's in violations in, more so than the New Year's Day speech by Kim Jong-un, where he extended an olive branch, but which had a lot of very sharp thorns attached with some conditions that he's demanding of the United States.
You know, this cabinet meeting has been going on for almost an hour and a half at this point, and so we are starting to get those notes, and we've been sharing this with our viewers as they come out. But specifically regarding this issue, where are we with North Korea? And does it make sense to have a second meeting since the communique that came out of the last meeting didn't have any specifics like deadlines or expectations in terms of denuclearization?
Right. Well, we really are no further along on North Korean denuclearization than we were at the Singapore summit, or indeed the year or years before that. So there's a debate between whether you should wait for actual progress at the special envoy level before that justifies having another summit. Others see the top-down approach. But the Singapore summit did not lead to really any success, and in fact was a step backward. And the president unilaterally canceled South Korea-U.S. military exercises, and that's been the gift that keeps on giving for North Korea. There have been 8 or 9 military exercises since June which have been canceled, and that's starting to degrade allied military capabilities.
What do we make of, or should we consider it forward progress, the fact that we aren't seeing those missile launches that we had been seeing with the previous administration and even those previous to that?
Well, not having tests is a good thing. Of course, it's required not to have tests under the UN resolutions. But
yeah, but they were breaking it before.
Right. In the beginning of last year, Kim said that he no longer needs to do nuclear missile tests because he successfully completed the ICBM and the missile tests and the missile programs. And there were several instances of 3 or 4 years of no nuclear and missile tests under previous administrations, and that wasn't necessarily seen as a great accomplishment.
So what is the greatest danger right now with North Korea if we don't do something quickly? Because there was this imminence that was put on this, and then the summit happened between our president and Kim Jong-un, and things just seemed to kind of feather out and be a lot more mellow. Is that a misreading of it?
Well, North Korea, stepped back from doing the testing. Again, as it said, it was successfully completed. The U.S. stepped back from the fire and fury comments and discussions of possible U.S. preventive attack. So we're hoping the diplomacy is successful. But last month, North Korea released a statement where it very clearly rejected the U.S. interpretation of denuclearization in the Korean peninsula and affirmed what's been things that North Koreans have told us for decades, that denuclearization means global arms control. They'll go to zero when the U.S. and other nuclear powers abandon their arsenals, and that for them the Korean peninsula includes all U.S. strategic weapons, including down in Guam, as well as any U.S. nuclear-capable submarines or aircraft in the area.
Is it better at this point to be moving in this direction with them in terms of letters and meetings? I mean, I always think that communication is better, but what you're saying is things haven't really changed all that much.
Well, the discussions are good, but they're an ends or ways to an ends, not an ends in themselves. So we hope North Korea will come back to the table in a meaningful way. They haven't so far.
All right. So, and Kim Jong-un says he's open to it, to meeting with the president again. So the